Live. It says we're live, so that's great. So welcome everyone. And what do you think I did with my notes? There we go. It has been a day. We're gonna start there. So welcome everyone. My name is Larissa Russell of the Aligned Ambitions Show. And if you're a woman starting or growing your online heart-centered business, are you wanting to do things differently? Do you feel icky about manipulative marketing tactics and are ready to align your business with your ethics, values, and life goals? Then stick around for this conversation. So today I have with me Cherri Walston of Her Exit Solutions. And Sheree transitioned from the corporate arena in 2018 and launched her coaching business, Her Exit Solutions, with a mission to empower high-achieving women, leaders, entrepreneurs, and female go-getters. Avoid burnout and feeling overwhelmed by finding the sweet spot between success and well-being so they can achieve true work-life harmony. So Sheree is an inspirational speaker and work-life mentor. She is also the she is also the author of Her Exit Strategy, The Working Woman's Freedom Plan to Live Your Big Vision. Welcome, Sheree.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, Larissa. It has been one of those days.
I have to laugh because, I was just saying to Sheree, the original person, I guess we had for today canceled 2 days ago, and you were very gracious and stepped in at the very last minute. And at the time I thought, I wonder if I should just cancel it because I have an event and then oh no, we found somebody so quickly, it'll be fine. And then you had all these problems getting in and we're here. We're excited to share. So, this is just part of the real world and going live. And no one's going to die. That's what we say in my community. We're not brain surgeons. No one's going to die if we're late or something happens. So,
That's right. That's part of the entrepreneurial journey. And
mhm.
it's really about sometimes we have to be flexible and make adjustments.
Often we do. So, well,
Yes.
thank you. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what was the catalyst for you to change how you do business or moving from corporate maybe to what you do?
Sure. I like to call myself a guiding light. That's been the journey that I've been on for many years. My career started out in training and development. So I've held many roles as a corporate trainer, a leadership performance coach, training manager. And so I believe those roles have really set me up to be on this path of helping people grow and develop. And I recall and before I got into my career, it's like I had this vision of myself, how I wanted to show up in the world and what that looked like. And I feel like that path chose me. And along that path is where coaching came alive. I remember going through a transition in my career where I got my first job right out of graduate school in my career. Was loving it, was traveling, and in 2 years in, boom, the companies merged and I lost my job. And that's when I began to question. I thought I was on purpose. You know how those things happen in your life? Well, I thought I was on the right path. And I went and volunteered for a women's resource center while I was sorting things out and figuring out what my next move was. And that's kind of where I found my home and my calling. And I instinctively knew coaching was my path. And so that's when I hopped on that wagon, got a certification, and I started doing coaching on the side while I was looking for a full-time job and um, got a full-time job in my career. And so I was coaching and working my full-time career at the same time. So for me, it was a divine intervention. I feel like it was my calling and I was in the right place.
Yes. Often, I think the universe, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, steps in when we don't, right? We
Yes.
we we start down a path and then we get distracted by all the things that we're told to do, and then something will happen and go, oh, okay. Because I lost my job when I was doing this on the side as well. And it was like, yes, I've been saying I was going to do it. I kept saying I was going to quit. I kept saying until it was like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now. So,
Yeah, and sometimes it can be scary. Now, that was the beginning of my journey, but at the end of the journey in 2018, when the my department decided to move in a different direction, we know what that means, we no longer need your services. And so when I felt that, I knew it was time for me to go. Sometimes you have that feeling, and I knew when it was time for me to go. And I was at ease and I was at peace because I felt like I had made the impact that I needed to make. And so now it was time for me to step into my own shoes and a higher calling.
yes, yes, absolutely. And as you've, been on that journey and doing your coaching, what are some of the things that have really solidified, you know, this was the right choice for you?
It's always been a vision of mine. Since I was a young girl, I used to visualize my ideal situation, my ideal life. And that was a way for me to escape the bullies or, things about life that I didn't understand or, were scary or disturbing. So it was like I would go into this imagination of how Sheree wanted to live and who she wanted to be when she grew up. And I carried that into my adulthood. And then I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition that affect my eyes, my retina. And I started losing some of my sight. And I thought, wow, here I am, visualizing my ideal situation, and I am being attacked by my outer vision. And as I was going through that transition, I started, believing that it's really not about my out of vision circumstances. And we all have out of vision circumstances, things that try to attack or obstacles that things are getting in our way of living our big vision or our dreams or whatever that is. And I began to live by my inner vision light. And so when I connected those two, and I said, I'm no longer living by my outer vision circumstances, I'll begin to live by my inner vision light. And so for me, it's all been about vision. Interestingly, someone who has been deemed visually impaired, um, help her clients live by their inner vision light. Now that's a divine intervention.
I love that. It
And
really
so
is. Yeah.
yeah. And so it was like using my gifts in a different way. So when I work with my clients, that's where I begin. What really matters to you? What do you want?
Hmm.
And I think that's where the journey begins.
Yeah. Yeah. And so your business, you help women transition then from corporate to doing their passion. Is that correct?
My business is helping high achieving women leaders avoid burnout and overwhelm by
Hmm.
finding their sweet spot between success and well-being.
So
So
that could still be in corporate or it could be on. Okay. Okay. Yes.
yeah, so whether they're in corporate or they're, entrepreneurs, in their own business, we all are challenged by overwhelm and burnout. And so, it's my mission is that to help them avoid that. So I believe in having not work-life balance because balance that's hard. That's like you have to, it's like teeter and tottering.
Hmm.
I believe integration. How do we align our personal life with also our professional life, whether you're in business or you're in the corporate sector?
Hmm. Yes. And it really is an important thing to think about because we have so many people, especially women, who are not only tasked with working, but the home and the children and, all of the extras. So what are some of those things that you share that can help them figure that out for themselves?
Well, one of the biggest things that helped me really aligned with my vision and what I truly wanted, especially in my business, and that was that I really needed to have healthy boundaries. Um, I'm the type of person that, I reach for these shiny objects. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, that looks good over here. Well, let me do this. And that can just have you all over the place. And you find yourself saying yes to all these things that really aren't in alignment with the real vision or what it is that you truly want. And so the key is learning to say no so that you can say yes to your core values, live out your core values, and really being true to your authentic self. And that was one of the things that I had to do in my business because, sometimes I hated to turn people down when they asked me, can you come and do this? Can you come and speak? Can you volunteer to do this? And so I felt myself all over the place and I really wasn't getting anything done. It was taking me further away from my goals. So
Mhm.
the biggest thing is setting healthy boundaries without feeling guilt.
And for all the women out there who are going, oh, easier said than done, I don't know how to set a boundary. Oh, but if I do, I'm going to feel guilty about it forever. How do
Yeah.
you help them take that step?
Well, see, I think too that that's a societal expectations because women, we are nurturers. We take care of everybody. We love to help, serve, and volunteer, and people really count on us. You can sometimes people say, you know what, I know I can count on you. You always get it done. That's a good feeling because we like those praises. We enjoy those acknowledgments, but they can burn us out too. So I really help my clients. The first thing is really identify what truly matters to you and what do you want. And when you really understand that, and when you look at the things that you're doing, things that really aren't serving you and getting you closer to that ideal situation or that vision, learn how to say no in a way that even polite. You know what? That sounds really good. And this is what something I used to do. People would ask me something, and I was like, oh, I really hate to say no. And sometimes I will say, let me think about it. That's how I had to ease into it.
Mhm.
Let me think about it and get back with you. And so that I can figure out what I need to say. And then I would come back with, you know what, I really appreciate you asking me to do that. But I had some time to think about it, and it really isn't aligned with the things that I needed to do. So I'm going to have to decline it this time. And so I
Mhm.
think it's a way of saying no graciously
Mhm.
and being okay that however other people feel, maybe they're angry or something, it's not your fault. And their feelings aren't your problem.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and that's a tough thing too. For an example, my mother loves to keep her things in my garage. And I let her do it for a while. And it's because it's scary to say no.
Mhm.
But I had to finally say no. And we just had this conversation the other day. She said, can I put such and such in your garage? And I kindly said, no, mommy. And I left it at that. And she didn't say anything. She already knew.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and no is a complete sentence.
it is.
Problem is we always want to over you know, give more reasons than we need to.
It's
It's just
true. We feel
make it
like we
simple.
need to explain and
Mhm.
justify, and we don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
breathe.
Yeah. Oh, boundaries. Yes, I work with a number of women. We're constantly talking about boundaries and setting them and how best to set them. And those baby steps to take. And
Yes.
and I think an important part, as you were saying, is knowing your why. And if it's not in alignment with that, and we talk about that a lot in my mastermind as well, if it's not in alignment with what you want in your life, in your business, how you want to move through the world, then then why are you doing it? And stopping and thinking about, why am I doing this?
Yes.
Right? And yeah, it
Exactly.
does feel good to have somebody, appreciate you for, giving, giving, giving. But does it feel good that you're exhausted and don't have anything to give to what you really want? Yeah.
That's the key right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And on your entrepreneurial journey that you've been on, what are some of the uh, moments that have made you become more in tune with who you are? What has helped grow you as a person well in your business?
Reflecting. I love to just have quiet space. I have a little area outside of my patio. I call it my sanctuary, my peace spot. And I always, tell my clients, create your peace spot. And that's a place where I go to and really reflect. I may do some mindfulness, prayer, meditation, and journaling. And that has really helped me throughout my journey because it allows me to really, reflect on who I am, my journey, and maybe reflect on today's, tasks, things are like that. It really puts me in a space where I can really gain clarity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've learned how to do this throughout my journey, even before being in that entrepreneurial space.
Hmm.
And so reflection has really been a saving grace for me.
Hmm. Yeah, one of the things that we talk about a lot is about the healing journey that women need to go on when they build their own business, when they decide to show up in the world in a different way, right? Because we're
Yes.
taught one way, and we really need to show up in a different way to be successful in business. So that healing journey is a big part of that.
Mm.
And have you found that as well with when you're working with clients on whether it's, standing in their power in their corporate job or starting their business, whatever it is? Is that a big part of that? Have you found that as well?
Yes, I have. A lot of the clients that I would say, majority of the clients that I work with, there is some healing that needs to take place in order to step into their power. This healing from mistakes or afraid to step out again.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's been one of the biggest thing, healing also um, the journey that they've been on, the path. But yet they want to create something new and give something back into the world. So there is a process of, going through that space of reflection, space of even forgiving, ourselves,
Hmm.
and a space for being brave enough to step out. Not just brave, but just brave enough to take that one step.
Oh, I love that. You don't have to be brave, just brave enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Just brave enough to take the one step. Might have to steal that one. Yeah. And what helps you stay true to your core values and stay in alignment with your what you want to be in the world as you grow your business? Because it's so easy to get caught up in what world expectations. What helps you stay aligned?
Good question. I'm a woman of faith, so I believe in God. So that's very important for me. That's where my spiritual alignment comes from.
Hmm.
And another thing is knowing who I want to be and how I want to show up in the world and what that looks like. Who is Sheree today? Because I'm not the same Sheree 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And so I think with each stage in life, um, allows you to reflect on who you want to be at this time and space in your journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a I don't want to say it's a slippery slope because it's not. What when you become um aware that you want to be in alignment, then, yes, there's all these things that are bombarding you from the external, and it really is about turning inward. So it's not that it's a slippery slope and it's hard to do.
Yes.
It's just, remembering why we're doing the thing we're doing, I think is a big part of it, right? To
Yes. I
what
think
is the purpose?
remembering,
Yeah.
yeah, remembering, and thinking about, I think for me, what brings me joy, peace and happiness. And following that path, not saying that you won't have obstacles or challenges. I have one of the biggest challenges that I've had to live with. But I learned how to navigate those challenges and make adjustments. And that's what leadership is.
Mhm.
And taking ownership of my life and being responsible for my own happiness and and understanding that I co-create with my creator because I've been given purpose and I'm here for a reason.
Mhm.
So, working along with my creator and moving in that space and being in alignment with the purpose, in alignment with the vision, in alignment with my true self, who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And as you've grown your business, have your ideas of what success is changed at all? And if so, how have they changed?
That's a good question. I think success for me is feeling good about what I'm doing, about what I'm creating, what I'm giving back to the world, how I'm serving and helping my clients make transformation. That's how I identify success. I've always kind of identified that even in this the corporate arena because I still held that entrepreneurial spirit in my corporate space. I took ownership of my role and I had that freedom. So for me, it was really about um, being a mad woman, MAD, making a difference,
Mhm.
showing up every day as a mad woman.
I love that. I love that. And has that changed at all from when you first decided to go out on your own, you know, doing your business? I know we're told these ideas of success, right? And I'm just
Yes.
wondering if you've always been aligned like that, or has it changed?
I think it has changed because when I would say probably when I started out in my career, I wanted to be like, you know, let's say one of my mentors, doing things the way she did it. Oh, I love how she maneuvers and all that. And but what I found out was I became more comfortable in my own space and in my own shoes. And once I connected with that and allowed myself to be Sheree, I let go of what their success looked like and to go with what it feels like in my gut, in my spirit, what made my soul shine.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We talk often about being our authentic self, and it can be sometimes difficult to figure out who that is, right? And so we try on all these other personas as we're figuring out, oh, I want to be like this person, and I want to be like that person. And
Yeah.
then finally oh, no, I got this. I got
Mhm.
this. Yeah,
Yeah. I
I love
spent
that.
so much time on my journey. I'm a personal development junkie. All the books, so many books and workshops, and I mean, you name it. and trying to work on myself. But here's what I found out, Larissa. A lot of the things that I was trying to do were already inside of me. I already had the inner brilliance. I just needed to believe it and tap into it. It was there.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, it became natural to me. And I
Yeah.
showed up in a way that felt good and comfortable for me. Now, sometimes that would be scary because sometimes you don't know how you're going to be perceived.
Hmm. Yeah. And sometimes you just have to be okay with, doesn't
Yeah,
matter. That,
exactly. Do you, as we
what
say.
you think of me is none of my business. So it's so true. It's so true. Oh, what would be the
Yes.
one surprising thing that you've realized as you've grown your business and helped other women through there? Like, was there one like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Hmm. I think I get surprised a lot from the feedback that I get from my clients and feedback from my friends who come to me and they say, wow, you know what? I love talking to you. You're so insightful. You really make me think about things. You don't judge, you just listen, and you have so many insightful things. And sometimes I get surprised by that.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, okay.
What a wonderful thing to be surprised by, though.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I never want to feel like that I have arrived, so to
Mhm.
speak. I'm still becoming the best version of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And keep learning, keep growing. I really don't think there's a reason for us to be here if we're not doing that. So it's like just keep doing it
Yes.
because then, stick around, see what happens. I love that.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm enjoying the journey.
Mhm.
I'm loving who I'm becoming, and I'm growing. I'm growing, every day, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah.
It never gets boring, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's what I love about self-awareness, self-exploration, is that you learn new things constantly and it just allows you to move through the world. Maybe not differently, but with more ease and
Mhm.
more excitement
Yeah,
for what's happening. Or yeah,
I think about wonderment. It's like seeing things through the eyes of a child in wonderment. Like,
yeah,
wow, I didn't realize I could do that. Wow, I did that.
yeah,
Yeah, discovery. Hmm.
yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, I always forget to ask if people have questions. So if anyone has any questions, just pop them in the chat. And while they're hopefully doing that, Sheree, do you have, can you let us know where we can find you, what you've got going on, a little bit more about your business and what you want to share?
Yeah, true. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, just Sheree Walston.
Mhm.
Also my website, ShereeWalston.com.
And we'll have the links as well. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
And
Perfect.
I do have a freebie. It's called Time Mastery for high achieving women leaders, 5 days to reclaim your time and energy.
Perfect. Well, we'll make sure to have the link for that as well. And so everybody can grab that. And any final thoughts before we go? Any, final words of wisdom for people?
Yes, don't be afraid to do what truly matters to you. I know, it's so easy, especially women, sometimes we compare ourselves with, other women leaders and entrepreneurs, what they're doing. But I want to encourage you to really stay true to yourself, what really matters to you, because at the end of the day, you need to feel joy, fulfillment and happiness. And that may look differently from you than what that other person is doing.
Yeah, Absolutely. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you stepping in and, you know, things happen and we showed up a few minutes late. Like I said, nobody was going to die because we did that. And that's just rolling with, how we show up online. And it's
Yes.
part of the authentic world that we are trying to create. So I really appreciate you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for having me, Larissa.
Yes. To our listeners, thank you for being here. And if you're a woman interested in aligning your heart-centered business with your ethics, values, and life goals, join our Aligned Business Building Mastermind. And we'll have a 90% off coupon for your first month. Aligned 90 is the coupon code, but we'll put it in the description for you. And we will see you next time on the Aligned Ambition Show.